Everybody, Adam Savage here in my cave with a yearly tradition here at Tested of giving a compendium of my favorite things for 2021. And I have so many, we're gonna make this into 2 different videos, but right now I'm gonna talk about some physical objects, some tools and toys and things that I've intersected with and loved this year. I'm gonna start off, and I don't like doing this with things that are made of unobtainium, but this first one is, I believe, a pretty hefty piece of unobtainium. Tom Sachs and his atelier, his studio, have designed a magnificent leatherman that I've been wearing for the last couple of weeks, all-purpose hand tool. I've been wearing leathermans since the first leatherman charge. And that's probably 25 years now. And this is the best one I have ever held. This is an amazing piece. First of all, the outside body is fiberglass. It's very light. It feels great in your hand. He's included a pin, scissors, sorry, not scissors, a ballpoint pen, tweezers and scissors. I was mixing those up in my head. A carbide scribe. Yeah, he's even gone and ground the holes where your thumbs activate the knife blades. He's ground them differently, so by touch you can tell which one is which. I put it back in its box, but as you can see from the denim burn on this, I've been wearing it on my belt now for, like I said, a couple of weeks since I got this. This is gonna live with me for a very long time, and I'm gonna beat the living crap out of it. That's how I will show this the respect that is warranted. Also, I love everything that's white with the NASA worm logo in it. I mean, this is right up the middle of my wheelhouse. Yes, these were made in a very limited edition of 100. I don't know if more are coming out. Yeah, and they are, like I said, unobtainium, but I thought you'd like to see this. Okay, from the unobtainium to the very obtainium. This, I just did a video about this on Tested. This, this dumb, simple construction has changed my ever-loving life. This is a spray paint can mixer. Alexa has something to add. This is a spray paint can mixer. You put a drill in here and a spray paint can in here. It's got a little bit of foam, holds onto it, and it mixes paint faster and better than anything I have ever done. It has resuscitated 5 or 6 cans of some ancient lacquer primer that I love, that I have not been able to use in a decade. And while people have complained on Amazon that these break right here, I did find while I was filming the video about this that it broke right there, so I've replaced it with a piece of 1/4-20 all thread. Again, we'll include a link to this video below, but I saw these for years before I bought one, and I'm astounded by how useful it is. I am rarely so moved by a $15 or $20 tool, but this one is incredible. And there are several different versions of this on Amazon. We'll link to a couple. Next up, Future Motion just came out with 2 brand new OneWheels. And you know I've been riding OneWheels now for what feels like 10 years or more. I have logged over 4,000 miles on the totality of all my OneWheels. And after all of these model iterations, the latest iteration of the Pint X and the OneWheel GT, the long-range 30-plus mile OneWheel, I feel like Future Motion has matured into just an amazing maker of transportation objects. This is a substantively different machine than any of its predecessors. I love how round the wheel is. It's very carvy. Even though my ankles are strong because I ride a OneWheel every day, the roundness of this wheel made my ankles sore after the first week because I had to impart so much more pressure. Its range is incredible. This is lighter by a few pounds than the XR and has about the same range, which means for the neighborhood riding I do here around the Mission, I almost never even have to think about charging this. Every time I check, it's like, maybe it's 60%, maybe it's 30%, but even 30% gives me like 4 more days of getting coffee and riding around the Mission on my errands. The Pint X is my new favorite OneWheel. That being said, I have not yet ridden the GT, and I look forward to some extreme range one-wheeling as soon as I obtain one. Next up on my favorite things is some, why does this thing keep going? I'm gonna have to fix that. Next up on my favorite things is a couple of toys, both by Hasbro. They're Black Series helmets that they make from different franchises are just getting better and more accurate to the filming originals, which makes me very happy. I used to be unhappy about how inaccurate a lot of the mass market iterations of props and costumes from movies were. But over the last decade, one of the things that cosplay has wrought in the world is an understanding from companies like Hasbro and Xcozer and what do you call it, Rubies, etc., that accuracy matters and that they can make some shortcuts as long as they get a lot of stuff right. This is a Black Series Mando helmet that I'm going to be wearing with my Mando costume because I like it. I like its finish even better than the Inovos, which is saying a lot because the Inovos is a lovely piece. This is a Black Series helmet Mandalorian that I weathered. We'll include a link to the video of the weathering below. It has never been a better time to be a cosplayer when you can pick up something like this, mass market, for just over $100. There was no part of the cosplay fandom in which that would have been a regular occurrence before this. Like a casting from somebody's collection, at least a couple $100 if it's a penny. Like I said, it's never been a better time for cosplay. Hasbro's HasLabs have released the Ghostbusters Afterlife Neutrona Wand, and we just covered the next release in the Ghostbusters Oeuvre will be a 1-to-1 proton pack. We'll include a link to the video in the comments below. I can't believe how much fidelity there is in this object to its original. Don't get me wrong, like any mass market toy that's been injection molded, there are some shortcuts, but there are also some details here that they didn't have to make as good as they did. For instance, the top of the clippered valve and these knurled aluminum wheels, they're aluminum. They're actually made of metal. This one is a volume dial. I didn't even know that until I was farting around with it. They've even gone so far as in the injection molding tooling to include dents and dings that are on the original screen-used Hero. I said when I viewed this that I could tell from its overall construction that the team that put it together was a team of super nerds, and I'm so happy they exist. Well, those super nerds came here, and reader, it is absolutely true. Superheroes abound over at Hasbro in their HasLabs, and I'm very, very happy about it. All right, let's go bust some ghosts. Oh, yeah. Okay, off. There we go. Lastly, my favorite thing is too big for me to show it on this workbench, and so I'm going to walk over to it. This is one of my favorite things of 2021 is my new milling machine. We talk a lot here on Tested, and I converse a lot with Tested members and fans about the acquisition of tools for makers. And the usual set of questions is from beginning makers: what tools should I invest my money in? How do I know when to spend money on a tool and when to buy the cheap version? And I'm a big proponent in buying the cheapest version that you can currently afford until you know both how to use that tool and how useful it will be to you in your shop process. And that once you know those things, go and buy the most expensive version you can obtain. I have been using a milling machine since the early 90s. And only now, after close to 30 years of using one, did I feel like I had achieved enough, I'm not going to say skill, I'm going to say ambition in using the mill to warrant purchasing a new one off the lot. I bought this from Sharp in LA. They sent it up here about 2.5 months later. We had to carve a 7-foot wide hole out of the display area of my cave. It was an entire production. It took 2 days to get this in here. But in here it is, and it has so radically improved my machining, my output. It is so nice to use. Every other mill I have ever used is at least as old as I am. So this one is literally 50 years younger than every other mill I have operated. And I can feel it in the smoothness of how the ways work and the accuracy of the DRO and the lack of slop in all of its pieces. It is a beautiful machine, and I'm proud to be its steward currently while I execute a bunch of projects on it. And at some point, this will long outlive me and go to some other shop. But for right now, this is maybe my favorite object of 2021. There you have it. These are some of my favorite physical objects. I would love to know what are some of yours. In the comments, let me know your favorite tools, toys, and pieces of shop infrastructure that have shifted your clarity this year. And also, stay tuned. In this space, I'm making another video about the media I have consumed this year. The books, the podcasts, the TV shows, the movies, the newsletters, everything. Thank you guys for joining me for this Favorite Things. I hope your 2021 was excellent, and I hope your 2022 is even better. See you next time.